Hi guys, it's just Kate here, and I'm just wanting to take you today through some weight management training surrounding our amazing products Clean9, FIT1, and FIT2. By the end of this, I hope you've taken something away which you didn't know before, and so you have all of the knowledge and all of the guidance that you need to go out there and start chatting to people about our amazing products. Just what I wanted you to know first of all are some statistics around weight management. So the latest figures out there do show that in England, 65% of men and 58% of women are actually overweight or obese. Now, being overweight, as I'm sure you're aware, can cause an increased risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and even in some cases, cancers. Now, it's estimated that the average person every single day eats around 10% more calories than they actually need. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but over time, that will definitely cause significant weight gain. Now, poor health and obesity usually is due to lack of knowledge around that area, so how to exercise, what foods to eat. So it's our job as a business owner to get ourselves out there and help people to live a much healthier and happier lifestyle. Now, weight management in general is the second largest marketplace in Europe out of all of the ones that we're currently part of. So as you know, we're part of vast different health and wellbeing sectors, but that is one of the main ones that we work with. And that's exactly why I love working with it, because I get to help people be happier, healthier, and just basically to educate people about what's better for them. With Forever Living, there's been a 200% increase in our weight management plans. So that is absolutely exceptional. So you do know that these are up on a massive period of boom at the moment. So it's a brilliant sector to work with. Now, weight management doesn't necessarily have to mean weight loss, however. Weight management can mean loss of weight. It can mean that you want to maintain your weight, but it can also mean that you want to gain weight as well. So we've got plans that suit all people's needs. But what I'm going to do first of all is just talk you through why people would need our weight management plans. Now, there's a couple of main reasons for this, but what I just want you to think about is over the years, over the periods of time that have elapsed, our soils that farmers use have actually heavily depleted in vitamin and mineral content. And this is because of things like herbicides, pesticides, fertilizer, and insecticides, which have detrimented how healthy our soils are. Now, as you know, plants are living things, so when they're in the ground, they suck up or absorb all of the nutrition from the soil, and that's how they have got such amazing benefits in them. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the case anymore. And because our vitamins and minerals are lacking in our soils, therefore they're also lacking heavily in our actual fruit and veg itself. So the second question that I want you to ask yourself, and this is something that I use all of the time at launches because it really starts getting people to think about how much nutrition is left in their food. Because usually you'll get the person who says, well, that's fine, Kate. I eat really healthily. I go to the gym every single day. I look after myself. And I say, well, that's absolutely brilliant that you do that. However, you still will not be getting the nutritional value that you need for your body. And they're like, how? How is that even possible? So what I'm going to get you to think about right now is you're walking down your fruit and veg aisle at Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Asda, wherever it may be that you shop. And I want you to imagine that you're popping your fresh fruit and vegetables into your basket. How long do you think it's been since your fresh fruit and vegetables have been picked to then you consuming it in your house? What time frame do you think has elapsed? Now, this might shock you, and the answer has kind of been put on the screen there for you, but certain fruits and vegetables can even be up to a year old, and that is because as soon as they're picked, they're popped into dark storage containers and they're refrigerated until they need to be shipped over to the supermarkets and put out on the shelves. So what I want you to imagine now is how much nutritional value do you actually think is left in that fresh fruit and vegetable that you're eating? As you know, as soon as an apple is picked from its tree, that is its source of nutrition. So it starts to very quickly deplete in vitamin and mineral content. So not much at all is left in your fresh fruit and vegetables. Obviously, organic's a lot different because that's sourced from a farm and taken straight basically to you as a consumer. But I'm talking about the ones that we get in our supermarkets. Now, if we give our human body every single component that it needs, so vitamins, minerals, amino acids, things like that, your body cannot become ill. And because it isn't getting what it needs, that is why we have health issues. That is why people suffer from skin issues, immune system gets low, and that's why people are deficient in such a large amount of vitamins and minerals these days. So what they did a test basically, and they got somebody to eat an orange 10 years ago, and they recorded how much vitamin C was in there. And they did the same experiment 10 years later, and this may be shocking, but they needed 8 to 10 oranges to get the equivalent that they used to get 10 years ago. You actually get more vitamin C nutrition from the potato from its skin. So that just shows you how much our vitamin and minerals have depleted within our food source. So by our body not getting that source that it needs, that vitamin content, minerals, amino acids and things that I've mentioned, what starts to happen is some problems start to arise. Now, your body's a very clever system. If your body has a lack in something, it creates a symptom, a red alert, to tell your body that it needs help or it is lacking in something. And so obviously these are quite a few symptom like conditions. So you could have a low immune system, for example, so suffer from coughs regularly, suffer from colds, viruses, infections very easily. You could have an overactive immune system, so your body's having a reaction to not having something, such as hay fever or asthma. You can then have skin conditions, so things like eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, rosacea, acne. Poor mobility, so if your joints don't get enough nutrition, they can also suffer. Vitamin and mineral deficiencies are very common these days and have various different side effects. You can suffer from a low mood because serotonin, the happy hormone that we get from our body, is actually created in our bowels and then secreted up to the head. So if your body doesn't get enough of the serotonin release in food, then it won't release it enough. You can then also suffer from hair loss, so because your hair, skin and nails are the last place to receive nutrition. Poor vision, so loss of sight, and even disturbed sleep patterns. So as you can see, some serious, some not so serious, but all in all, they are symptoms, and all in all, they are health problems. And what we tend to do as a society, as a community, because this is what we've been told to do, we automatically reach for medication. And I've put a quote by Hippocrates, he's a famous medic, on the screen there, because he basically says that most of, or not, or even all of our symptoms, of our health issues, can actually be aided with food instead of medication. So I love that quote, let food be thy medicine and my medicine be thy food. So I absolutely love that. So you should always reach for nutrition rather than medication. So instead of popping a paracetamol for a bad head, intake more water or intake some natural sugars like natural fruits into your diet, and that will really, really help with your headache. So the second thing that we've also now got on our hands, a problem, is the addiction to sugar. Now, out there in the media, things like fat-free diets were always promoted as being the healthier option. Well, I'm here to be a little bit controversial today and tell you that fat-free products are actually worse for us than the full-fat version. And the simple matter of the fact is that to get rid of fat from food, it needs to be replaced with something. And so what they do is they replace it with sugar. Now, we are in a society where we walk down an aisle in our supermarket, and if we see a fat-free yogurt, we're automatically more inclined to pick that one up. And that is jam-packed full of sugars. So our body starts to become dependent on sugar, and it's actually more addictive than alcohol. So that just proves how detrimental it is to our health. Now, I've just basically placed that picture on the bottom of the screen there just to show you how uneducated we all are about how much sugar is in foods that we eat. So, for example, on that screen there, you've got a bottle of milkshake, which you wouldn't consider to be that bad for you, because it's full of calcium and whatnot. But that actually contains 46 grams of sugar, which is absolutely bonkers if you ask me. So no wonder people are putting on weight because of their sugar addictions. Not to be the bearer of doom and gloom tonight, but basically all chemicals are also really detrimental to our health. And we are in a position where it's inevitable that we're surrounded by these. It's not something that we can control. But what we can do is be aware of them. And chemicals come in the form of herbicides and pesticides, which is obviously sprayed on our fresh fruit and vegetables. Smoking, which we totally can't help. Smoking is so detrimental to health, it's well known now. Alcohol, obviously if we drink in moderation, it's not that bad, but constantly drinking alcohol, yes, it does have a significant health effect on us. Even drinking water contains chemicals these days because obviously it needs to have had bacteria killers in there, and fluoride, as we have none of in our toothpaste. So that's why we don't have fluoride, because it is detrimental towards our health. Prescription painkillers are really bad for our health. Medication in any way, shape or form. Now, I know medication sometimes is the route we have to go down because there's just no other option, but it does contain chemicals. And obviously the environment that we're in these days, so pollution, sunlight, all of these factors do contribute to our health. So I'm just going to explain the biology behind all of this and how it actually affects us. So there is your human body, and in red, that is your bowels and your large intestine and small intestines. Now, that is where your food goes through. So think about your body like a conveyor belt. Whatever you put in your mouth then goes through all of those tubes like a conveyor belt. On the sides of that conveyor belt, you've got little hairs called villi, and villi's job is to suck nutrition from food as it passes through there. So that job is to basically zap lots of healthy vitamins, minerals, proteins, enzymes, things like that our body needs to function. Over time, however, by us suscepting ourselves to chemicals, to sugar, to the herbicides, pesticides, and lots of chemicals and nasties, this actually coats the villi in a little thing called mucus. So mucus basically lies on top of there, and that stops our body from being able to work as effectively in terms of absorption. So when you hear people say my absorption levels have gone down, that basically means they're not as healthy. When you hear someone say that their absorption levels have gone up, that basically means that their body is functioning correctly. So that basically means if they're not fed with enough nutrition, that's what can lead us to poor health. But the good news is we have some amazing products which can absolutely help to restore our body, to give it an MOT, and to basically get it functioning properly again. Now, the way that I want you to think of your body today is like a washing machine or a car. Now, if you had a little boy who played football on really dirty, muddy fields and constantly every single day asked you to put his football strip into the washing machine, over time, because the washing machine has been used to its best ability, basically, and it's having to work even harder to clean that piece of clothing, eventually what will start to happen is the filters won't work as effectively in comparison to somebody who maybe just washes their clothes because they have a little tiny bit of dirt in. And it's exactly the same as if you think of your body like a car. So if you've got a diesel engine, but you put a petrol tank, if you put petrol in that tank, that car's not going to get very far at all. It's going to break down, it's not going to work effectively, and it's going to start damaging the engine even. And that is exactly what happens to our body if we don't treat it with respect. So I want you to now think about our products and how we can make that washing machine or make that car work more effectively. So Clean 9 is the first step in our 3-part weight management plan. Now, Clean 9, as you can see on the screen there, is part 1 of 3. It was only ever designed to prepare the body for weight management. So in this stage of your weight management plan, you will not actually be losing fat, because it's pretty impossible for your body to lose fat in 9 days. You will lose pounds, but those pounds come from the loss of toxins. So this plan was designed, like I've said before, to help aid remove stored toxins from the body. What it's also designed to do is to prepare mindset for change and to break habits. Now, this I want to compare to when somebody buys their business in a box from me and they're starting their business up. They have to get themselves into the right mindset to start their business. I can't do that for them. So it's absolutely pointless somebody buying this plan if they, in their mindset, think, oh, well, it's fine. After day 3, I'll just quit. Because they're absolutely wasting their money. This plan is to break habits, so stop people reaching for caffeine. So stop people reaching for sugars and chocolate bars and biscuits, and to really replace that with fresh fruit, with water, with herbal teas that are non-caffeine based, to basically give your body a rest from all of the damage that you're actually putting in there. Now, Clean 9 can be used, say, after holidays. So if you've been away, you've filled yourself full of wine or lasagna, and you're thinking, oh God, like I really need to give my body a bit of a hand to repair here, Clean 9 can absolutely be used for that. However, you do need to explain that you can't use this plan over and over and over again, because that's actually dangerous to the body, and the body would go into a thing called ketosis, which is where it lives off the fat stores within your body. And whenever you do eat again, your body would store that fat and you'd actually put on weight. So this was never ever designed for fat loss, and it was never designed to be a fad or a quick fix. So please do explain that to your customers when you're chatting to them around the Clean 9 plan. So what's actually happening in the 9 days then, if I'm saying to you that they're not actually losing fat? Well, in our body, we have got 2 types of toxins. We've got water-soluble and fat-soluble toxins. Now, they're basically self-explanatory. Fat-soluble are dissolved by fat, and water-soluble are dissolved by water. Now, Clean 9 is basically working on breaking down the water-soluble toxins, and that is because we're intaking a lot more water than usual. And we also have some amazing supplements which help to break those down as well. Now, that is where you can lose approximately 1 to 2 pounds in weight, because that is a stored toxin putting on weight on your body. Now, by you giving your digestion a good old rest throughout the Clean 9 and basically mostly only intaking liquids, we can help to break these toxins down. Now, because we're not putting a lot of solid food in our body throughout the 9 days, so we're not, for example, intaking large amounts of meat or basically food that takes quite a lot of energy to break down, what then happens is the energy that we don't use is actually shedded, and that comes in the form of glycogen, which basically is a waste energy that our body starts to break down and to dispose of. So that is where we can expect 4 to 5 pounds of weight loss as well. So as you can see, those two combined would, on average, give you the average weight loss on a Clean 9. So the basic principle of a Clean 9 is to get that washing machine working more effectively, or to get that car back up on the road and get it fixed. So we're basically fixing our body, we're helping it to function more correctly, and we're really speeding up our digestion so that when we do eat again, we're not going to pile the weight back on, we're actually going to dispose of the weight much more effectively. So what will you experience during the 9 days? Well, Because you're intaking more fresh fruit and vegetables, because you get an amazing free foods list to use, you're going to experience way more energy. And because your villi, the mucus over the top of the villi is starting to go, then you're going to have more effective absorption levels. So you're going to experience a thing what we call nutrification, which is even where your hair, skin and nails receive nutrition. Due to you shedding the toxins, you're going to feel way less bloated. You're going to have a much sharper mindset because you don't feel sluggish and tired all of the time. And when you do sleep, you're going to have a much better sleep and a deeper sleep. And what we're doing within the Clean 9 in the 9 days is actually preparing the body ready for actual fat loss. So you can then go on to the FIT1 and the FIT2 for the actual fat burning. Now, what I want you to always bear in mind is that everybody's body is different. So you do need to be aware of this. So just like when you sit down with a new team member and ask them what they want from this, how you're going to plan their business, you need to sit down with your clients and you need to understand what their needs are. So you need to ask very relevant questions. So you need to ask things like, how active are you? Obviously, you'll know if they're male or female, so you don't need to ask that. But you need to ask them what they currently weigh now and what they would like to weigh in the future, or what their weight loss goals actually are. Because if somebody turns around to you and says, okay, I'm after losing about 5 stone, you need to say to them, look, Clean 9 is just the kick start to get you there. So this will kick start your nutritional habits. It will get you to kickstart your pound loss, and it will get you to kickstart your body into a position where it's actually going to then be encouraged to lose weight in the future. So you need to explain that this is not just a 9-day plan and then that's it. You do need to recommend things on after that and adapt it to your client's needs. So what I always do is add them to feeling fantastic, and then I always tag them in an encouraging status, and I support them all the way through their plan. But please ask permission if they are wanting to be added to the group and if they want to be tagged, because not a lot of people like people knowing that they're losing weight as well. So just be courteous about your customers. So I'm going to talk you through the supplements that you receive in Clean 9 and what their main purpose is throughout the 9 days. So as you know, I mentioned that our body's like a washing machine. And if we constantly put bad things into the washing machine that are dirty, that are basically not good for it, that will harm it in any way, shape or form, then it doesn't start working as effectively. So what the aloe vera gel's job is to do is to basically contribute to the absorption of nutrition from the food that we're intaking. So it actually facilitates the elimination of toxins via the body's organs. So what we're doing really here is we're feeding our organs with nutrition. And if you have a healthy kidney or kidneys, if you've got healthy lungs, if you've got healthy bowels, then your body is going to see massive results from that. You're also going to balance your gut flora, so make it more alkaline rather than acid, which can obviously help people if they suffer from digestive issues. And it's massively high in vitamin C, which contributes to a healthy immune system, so fighting those coughs, colds, and things that I mentioned that people suffer from before. So we've got lots of amino acids in there, lots of compounds. So the aloe vera gel, it's no wonder that that is basically our #1 product that we sell. So that's why it's based around the aloe gel. Then we have the Forever Light Ultra. So the purpose of the Light Ultra in this plan is to basically keep, because our body's not receiving a lot of food, as in solid foods, we still need to feed the body with enough nutrition for it to fuel properly, function correctly. So that's why we give you the Forever Light Ultra. And this is basically a high quality protein, which is basically helping to digest food easily, because we don't want to basically spend a lot of energy digesting food, because we're trying to get rid of that glycogen like I mentioned before. So it needs to be something that's easily digestible, and it's got 0 cholesterol and lactose in as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, with the Forever Light Ultra, if you don't like drinking them, you can make them into pancakes, but you can also in the winter months make them, for example, into a hot chocolate or a hot vanilla milkshake, which is always nice. So onto the Garcinia Plus and what this does during the 9 days. Well, basically it reduces hunger pangs and sugar cravings. And it does this by basically releasing your serotonin from your bowel, because serotonin is our happy hormone. That's actually created in the bowel and then secreted up to the brain. So if our brain thinks that we're satisfied, that we're happy, then we're much less likely to reach for like snacks and sugar and all the things that we're constantly having a battle with that I mentioned before. So what you can do is on the free foods list, you can incorporate those free foods pieces of fruit and vegetable into your clean 9, and that works really well with the Garcinia because it even more so stimulates the brain into thinking that it's completely satisfied. We then have Forever Therm, which basically keeps you on purpose or alert, or keeps you with a sharp mindset. And it does this because it's got unroasted caffeine extract in it. So basically, we've got guarana, we've got coffee bean, and we've got green tea. And these natural caffeines take the edge off your appetite as well. So you're not going to feel hungry, even though you are reducing your calorie intake. We then have Forever Fibre, and basically this is a mixture which you just pour into warm or tepid water. I usually put mine in decaffeinated green tea with lemon, so it really stimulates my bowels still, and basically gives you a sense of fullness. But what fibre also does is it acts like a sponge in the fact that it sucks up all of the excess fats in your diet. So you're not going to put on excess fat, which is great. And all you do basically is follow the plan which you get given. It's a really simple booklet. You also get given a shaker for your shakes and a tape measure. And what I always tell customers is that inch loss is much better than weight loss, because weight loss is so variable. It depends how much water you've intaken. It depends if you've been to the toilet or not. And please tell people just to weigh themselves and measure themselves on the specified days, because it is such a fluctuating program that your body's adapting to lots of different things. So here's some things that I always say to my customers when they ask me what clean 9 is. And I find that this is a really simple way to explain it. So I simply say something like, well, Clean 9 is an expertly devised cleansing program designed to kickstart, because that's what it is, a kickstart, into a healthier lifestyle. It's based around our best-selling aloe vera drinking gel, and this is nutritionally balanced program will allow you to see results in just 9 days. On top of that, you'll feel amazing, your skin will glow, and you'll feel totally clean. You'll get equal proportions of supplements to take each day. You'll get a shaker, a drinking gel, a tape measure, and an easy-to-follow step-by-step guide, along with all of my help and support along the way to get you to the results that you want. And that's simply something that I'll say until I send then the Clean 9 email. So just a bit about customer service when doing the Clean 9 or any of our FIT plans. Customer service is number one for me. If somebody sold me something and then just said, right, get on with it, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing, I would feel really upset, especially because the person's spending quite a large amount of money. So first of all, like I mentioned, I always ask if I can add them to Feeling Fantastic. And I do explain that it is a private group, that their results are not going to be shared with the world. And I never ask them to share information if they're not comfortable with that either. What I do make sure that I do is when the program arrives in the household, I make sure that I get the customer to give me a call, a text, or a message on Facebook. And then I will talk through that plan with them step by step. Never assume that they know what they're doing, because I've had people before who've thought that they needed to mix water with the drinking gel, and then that's actually made them feel a bit sick. So you do need to make sure that you explain the program and explain exactly what they're doing. I always then give my phone number or message them on Facebook, and I absolutely stay in touch with them every single day throughout the plan, because I don't want someone to message me and say, Kay, on day 5, I didn't go to the toilet until day 9. That's awful. I need someone to know that I'm looking after them, that I'm caring about them. So what I also do in my diary, as soon as I know the starting date of my person's Clean 9, I'll write it in, and then 9 days later, I'll write in Clean 9 finished for Rebecca, for example, and then I'll make a massive celebration on the fact that they've actually finished their clean 9, and I'll big it up and I'll say, right, what were your results, and make them feel absolutely amazing about what it is that they've just gone through. So halfway through the plan, what I will do is that I'll remind them that this is a kickstart. So this isn't sustainable. This is not going to be able to last for a long, large length of time. So I'll start mentioning on following on products. I'll start mentioning the packs, so FIT1 and FIT2. But I will always explain that the products are sold separately. So if they don't want to buy the whole pack, that is absolutely fine. I will obviously advise them on which products I think are best. And the products which I always advise are the shakes, the drinking gel, and the Garcinia, because that will create sustainability. So after clean 9, FIT1 is the next plan that you would partake in. So now you get 4 bottles of gel, you get full sizes of your Garcinia, Therm, Fiber, and you also get 2 packets of shake, and you get some Pro X bars as well, which are snacks that you can have throughout the plan. So the purpose of FIT1 is to lose 1 to 3 pounds safely and effectively each week. You don't want to be losing any more than that, because if you do lose any more weight than that, then that could really be detrimental to health, and also your skin won't be in the best condition either. It really shows you how to intake the correct balance of carbohydrates, protein, and fats. And it's all laid out in a really simple booklet, just exactly like what Clean 9 was. But the most important thing about FIT1 is your customers need to head to the foreverfituk.co.uk website, and what they need to work out is their personal calorie intake for energy. So you do that by just inserting height, weight, things like that into a couple of fields, press enter, and it comes out with what they should be intaking. But as you can see on that page there, it says approximately 1,200 to 1,400 for women, and 1,700 to 1,800 for a man, depending on how active they are and things like that. So with FIT1, this is where you're now starting to exercise a lot more. Clean 9 was just a small amount of exercise, so swimming and biking, nothing really strenuous on the body, because the body doesn't have the correct amount of fuel. Whereas FIT1, we've given you a proper exercise plan to follow, which explains how to warm up, stretch, how to do cardio, explaining the importance of heart rate and how you can burn fat and speed up metabolism, but then also explaining how to encourage weights into the plan as well. So you get an in-depth, it's basically like having a personal trainer almost, but you get to follow it in the comfort of your own gym or at home, so it's nice and easy to follow. So once they've lost 1 to 3 pounds safely and effectively and got down to their target weight, what you would then do is encourage them to join FIT2. So FIT2 is the fine-tuning process. So they've lost the weight they want to lose. Now what they want to do is to tone up. Again, full-size supplements in all of the products there, which all, by the way, have a different effect during FIT1 and FIT2 as they do in Clean 9. So they're used for different things. But FIT2 is simply to build muscle mass and to reduce body fat percentages. So to get your muscles nice and elongated, for men to put on mass, and to increase stamina and fitness levels as well, because you're going to be doing a hell of a lot more exercise with FIT2. But the crazy thing about this, believe it or not, is FIT2 is going to encourage you to eat even more calories than FIT1 did, which may sound crazy, having to eat more to lose weight, but that's because you're exercising more, so you need that fuel to exercise. So again, it gets you to have a little look, and this time during FIT2, for women, they're going to be intaking approximately 1,500 to 1,700, and for men, about 2,000 to 2,200. They're going to be using all of the supplements that they did before, but it's going to be a lot more food and a lot more healthy food as well. So you get lots of recipe ideas, shake ideas, and so you basically have, during FIT1 and FIT2, your very own chef and your very own personal trainer, which is what I love saying to people, because yes, people know how to go at the gym. Yes, people know sometimes how to eat effectively, but people find it very hard to stick to something, and this really gives you a guideline to stick to. So just to give you some real life stories or real life experiences with the Clean 9, FIT1 and FIT2. Obviously, over the course of the 3 plans, it's a 60-day 9 program. And what I would do is encourage all customers to do this. However, if it comes down to cost factor, obviously mention that the products are available to be purchased separately. And what you can do, because you want to give great customer service, is you can download the brochures for them and supply them with the brochures as well. So never ever lose out to retail sale just because of cost. Always mention that there's ways and means around it. So on here we've got Ronald. Beforehand he weighed 73.7 kilograms and now weighs 66.7. So that's a fantastic weight loss. And his waist was 33 beforehand and now is 28. So you can see his abs are poking through there. So good on you, Ronald. That's awesome. We then have Claire. So Claire's goal was to lose weight and improve overall health, fitness and well-being. Before she weighed 97.2 kilograms and after weighed 88.5. Her waist measurement was 38 before and she went down to a waist size 34. So she's done absolutely incredibly well doing that. And what we want to do then now is to show you how to basically retail those products. So Clean 9, FIT1 and FIT2. Now, my biggest advice that I can give you to do this is to try the products yourself, because we work on a personal recommendation basis. So if you haven't used these products yourself, how can then you go and recommend these personally to people? So you, by using the products, can get to know how it feels. You can then give personal tips, what you liked, what you disliked, when you struggled, when you didn't struggle, and you can be really honest, which is what people buy into. And we always say that facts tell, but stories sell. So that's exactly the same with these plans. People will be able to automatically as well, by you using the products, be able to see a change in you. So if you look better and feel better, people are going to ask you why. And that is an absolutely perfect chance for you to recommend these. So if you haven't tried the plan, please try and do that. If you can't, I appreciate, obviously they do cost quite a large amount of money, but at least if you can, just try and use a few of the products. So maybe do a mini cleanse and use the drinking gel, the shake and the Garcinia and see what results this gives you. Don't learn a script on what Clean 9, FIT1 and FIT2 do. Just use personal experience, how you felt, what it did for you, as people absolutely are going to buy into you. What I've done, and this has created me and a really amazing weight management business, is I've done all of the plans myself. And what I did is I blogged about it on social media. So I basically took a picture of myself with the box, and I basically then said, can't wait to look good, feel good, to get a really fantastic healthy lifestyle, and to ban the bad habits for good. And that was creating quite a large amount of intrigue. What I then did was took before and after photos and posted them on my wall and blogged each day about how I felt. So if I felt hungry, I'd say I felt hungry. I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm totally stuffed if I was starving, because that is what people want to see. They want to see real life honesty. So yeah, take before and after pictures, give honest feelings and what you've achieved from the program, and just remember to be compliant and never to make medical claims, because we can't do that, unfortunately. So just always be aware of what you're saying. If you're unsure, send what you were going to post on Facebook to the compliance team, and you can find the compliance email on foreverliving.co.uk. So it's our job as business owners to ensure that our Clean 9 product doesn't fall into a juicing diet or a quick fix. So please do not educate people in this way. Please tell them that it's very different and that you have to maintain and sustain what you've lost during Clean 9, because you're not just going to basically do 9 days of a cleanse and then go back to eating KFC and McDonald's and expect not to put those toxins back on your body. But I hope this has all helped. Good luck with retailing them, and let's have an amazing month, guys. Speak to you soon. Thanks. Bye.